Care Bear's like, what? Care Bear, you flipped, girl. Like, that was actually really fun. I hope the camera's getting this. Yeah! Arriba!
Arriba!
Arriba! Care Bear, we are messy. This is perfect for us. We're fucking messy. We're not perfect. We don't know what's happening, but we're gonna get it done.
We're gonna get it done.
We're gonna get it the fuck done. Gonna get it the fuck done. Okay. All right. How about we scoot over here? Okay. Come here. Now we're all comfy with each other's.
Hi, Care Bear.
She's gonna be a regular on these episodes.
She's good girl.
Okay, so did you change your last name?
I went back to my maiden name, which is Paxson.
So cute, by the way.
It's such more a power name.
It's such an author name.
Thank you.
Yes, it's an
Thank you.
author's name. I saw it on Instagram and I was like, is that a middle name or a last name? What is this? Because sometimes authors have like middle-ish last names. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She wants some caffeine. I don't blame you.
Well, so my name is actually pretty interesting. It's kind of like,
Olivia Paxson.
yeah. Well,
That's so hot.
thank you.
Yeah.
Well, my first name is actually Donna, which was my mother's name.
That's right. Matt calls you Donna.
He does?
Yeah.
No
I
way.
think Matt called you Donna before. He's
Oh
like,
my
you know it's your
gosh.
name.
It is my name. I've never used it because it was my mom's name, so she had it growing up. So I was Livy, short for Olivia. And so I really had to kind of think about, like, I've had 5 different names. I'm pretty sure the IRS won't give me any more names.
They're like, you're done.
Yeah, you're done. We're
Maxed
not going to be
out.
able to know who you are anymore. You must be running from the law. But so yeah, I went back to my maiden name, Paxson, and it's it's the one that feels like the most me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel that for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. I forgot to get you water. I'm gonna grab you water real quick. Sorry, not to interject, but we're gonna be talking a lot, sis.
Yeah, we need some water, some hydration.
Hydration station, baby. Here you go. Here you go, sweetness. Okay. So you legally changed it.
Yeah, so when you get divorced, they put it, if you want to go back to your maiden name, they'll do it in the divorce decree. But then you got to go to the Social Security office,
Oh,
change your
God.
driver's license. It's a whole thing.
It's like when you get married and it's like you have to jump through 7 rings just to take another name.
Yeah. It's a whole thing. You know how it is. You've done it before, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, it took me a while though. I had a hard time with changing my last name. Come here. Because I was the last of 4 girls.
Okay.
And I think I have 1 male cousin carrying on, two male cousins carrying on the name.
Okay.
But I was like the last, and my dad's like,
I
you're the
know.
last, that whole thing.
Yeah.
So it took me a minute, but it's definitely an upgrade.
Well, so what made you change your mind?
I think it was the pride in his last name. Like I wanted to bring a new identity. I was very prideful of his last name and like what we were building together at the time and stuff, And
Well,
I
yeah, you
don't
had
know.
the Steele house, right?
Yeah.
Is that around the same time?
Yeah. So we got married courthouse
Okay.
like 6 months after we opened the store, 5 months after we opened the store.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had 30 minutes to get married and go get breakfast and then open the store. Yeah.
I love that.
And then we forgot to
story.
tell our families for like months.
That's like a very Faith and Tavish story. I feel
100%.
Like no drama, just yes, let's go do the thing and then carry on with our daily lives.
As we were.
Carry on.
Carry on. Yeah, no, for sure that's how we are.
Yeah. Well, so that's why I had a difficulty with my last name because it was my mother's last name, but it wasn't the name I was born with. I was born with my father's last name. He left when I was young, and my mom changed our name when we were in like 3rd or 4th grade. So I was born Smith, turned Paxson, got married way too many times, changed my name for completely no reason when I was modeling.
Seriously.
No reason is not really. There was a reason. It was always like a container. Like it felt like if I could find the right container, then I would feel like me. So, when I had to make a decision about what name I wanted to use as an author, it had to be, the one that felt like the most me. And I was like, just make myself O. I'll just be O. Like, I'm just going to be like this immaculate conception. I'm not going to be tied to my dad or my mom or my first name or my last name or whatever. But the reality is that most of my life I was spent as Donna Olivia Paxson. And so I decided, that that was the most close, the through line of names, as it were, for the story and, for my life. So.
And I can't wait to talk about that through line.
Yeah, girl. I mean, whatever you let me know what you want to talk about. I'm here to talk with you.
Well, I haven't seen you in 2 years.
Yeah.
And when we left off, you were still kind of bodybuilding a little bit. You took time off of it, and then you're kind of getting back into it a little bit. Like, you're in and out of the gym, and then I was leaving for military stuff. Tavish had just got done competing. Matt was deciding to move back to Iowa.
Oh, yeah.
All this stuff was happening, and then we left Port St. Lucie. You went on a fucking journey. Matt went back to Iowa. Like, the gang dismantled a little bit, and like I was telling Tav this earlier. I think when I saw you last, that's when you were really into hiking and like living off the land. And I think you went on a major hike, didn't you?
Well, my major hike was only 24 hours, but it was like completely transformative, right? So like, I've always liked authors who go into the wilderness and do these things. Michael Easter wrote Comfort Crisis, Scarcity Brain. He writes kind of like field notes style, right? Like, he goes out into the world, he learns these things, and he brings it back to the through line of his story. I loved that. That was originally, Comfort Crisis was originally, and actually it was right after bodybuilding, because what happened with bodybuilding was that, I mean, depending how far we want to go back, but...
You can go back as far as you want to tell your story.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to lose the main thread, but I mean, like, originally, like, I got into bodybuilding for not good reasons. Like, we were at the beach one day with my husband, and I was drunk, which was a problem then. I was drunk a lot, for all the regular reasons, wildly unhappy with my life, but afraid to face it or do anything about it. So we were at the nude beach, actually. We went there a lot. And he wouldn't stop looking at this girl, which isn't a thing, but like, he was like, he wouldn't stop talking about her either. So I was like, oh my God. So then I felt really bad about myself. I just had my son, and I was like, I need to get fit. I need to be fine as fuck, just like the girl on the beach, right? So completely nothing to do with me, completely nothing to do with anything healthy for any reason to get into bodybuilding. And originally it wasn't for bodybuilding at all. I happened to find a coach to teach me how to eat and work out to lose weight, who also happened to be in the bodybuilding world. And so that's kind of like how I got into that there, not for any good reason, for somebody else. So then bodybuilding kind of, for me, like, once that container didn't serve its purpose anymore, which is, I'll get into it a little bit in a little bit, because it's kind of, a whole pocket of information. But once that container didn't really like serve me anymore, I knew, like, it wasn't a passion of mine. It wasn't something I loved. I don't just fucking love tearing myself to bits and starving. Like, those aren't my ideas of a good time. But I also think I did it very unhealthily. So my experience was probably not the same as a lot of people who can compete for years and years and years. But when that container was, gone, you are like, well, who am I without the meals, without the rice, without the water, without the chicken, without the shopping, without the traveling, without the bikinis, without the check-ins? What the fuck is left, So when I just made the very tough decision not to bodybuild anymore, I remember exactly where I was. I remember what the light looked like. I remember what I was wearing, which was always workout clothes, so duh. But like, I had been struggling so hard. Like, I had just kicked my husband out for the 5th time in 6 years or something ridiculous. Like, we had a terrible relationship. My business was okay, wobbly, huge though. I mean, I was making the most money I had ever made, monthly, annually, whatever. I had a huge team of people. The husband I just kicked out also worked for that team, so now I have a hole in the team, so I got to fix that. My daughter's at college and she needs money that I can't send her. I mean, a lot of things were kind of converging at once, and so bodybuilding, because it didn't mean anything to me anymore, it had to go. Right. And it was a tough decision, because your whole identity is tied to it. Like, I don't know what I'm going to be next, but I know I can't carry this anymore. Yeah. It's heavy bodybuilding. Like, at least for me it was. And I think, like, again, other people have different relationships with it, where it actually adds to their life. And I will say there's a lot that I learned from it, and it did add to my life in certain ways. But everything changes, right? Like we're always in motion, like water. So when we get to that point when it's not serving us anymore, the smartest thing we can do is let go. And that's also difficult for people who are into fitness because for me in particular, I mean, I was an athlete in high school, but I didn't really do any adult exercising, really. I mean, I wasn't terrible looking, but I definitely wasn't fit, So it was like, well, I definitely don't want to get fat. I definitely still want to take care of myself. So you got to figure out what that looks like for you. But so then when bodybuilding was gone, I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to focus on my business and I'll just grow the business and work on that. And, I did that for a while. And that went really well too. But ultimately, and this is really what I wanted to get to today, is that external structures only work for so long. If there's no internal structure to support it. And a lot of times I think what happens is that we look for external structures because there is no internal structure. Duh. I mean, that sounds obvious. But we don't know that there's no internal structure. We just think that we're just operating as we should, right? Like, well, I want to be this, so I'm going to do this. I want to accomplish this, so I'm going to do this. And, bodybuilding is the best example of that. 100%. Okay, I want to be, that is our structure. Yeah, exactly. And so when you are so heavily, and I think that, it's hard because especially with a performance, it's not performance in strength, but, performance in the way you look, the way you execute, things like that, how successful you are, it's hard to see that there's a problem with it if there is, because people are looking at you like you're something special. You garner their respect. They look up to you. They ask you questions. It's like, wow, this feels great. I'm good at this, you know. And that was all I had to hear one time was you could be pro, and I was like, what? Okay, and click. There was nothing else I could think about. I didn't even think about competing after, as a pro. That had never even crossed my mind until Matt. I was with Matt, and he was like, "Oh, you could go to the Olympia," and I was like, "What? I have to compete after this?" Whoa! And then I was like, well, "Why am I doing this? Why? This is the whole point that people get a pro card because they want to compete as a pro."
Yeah.
So, it just, I don't know.
Do you know what your human design is? Do you know what that is? Human
No.
design. It's it's your blueprint. No. It's your blueprint. So I'm like, I need to know what your human design is.
I mean, I want to know what my human design is too. This is literally what I do every day, all day long, is try to figure it out.
Right? Oh my God. It's and once you crack that open, you're like, I need to know everything about me.
Yes.
And it doesn't end.
It doesn't end.
Because then you work on something and you're okay, I uncovered that shadow. I'm good on that one. But then there's so many other things. And you're like, why am I this way? Why am I this way? What's this system? Blah, blah, blah. So human design is your blueprint. Okay. It's quantum physics meets DNA. Okay. Kind of, essentially. And so when you texted me and you're like, you sent me a book of notes and you're like, I'm so sorry. You're like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, dude, that's so on brand for you. It is. I want to know if you're it's called a manifester, and it's people that are I give directions and I don't give a fuck what people say. That's so on brand. I need to know if that's what you are. And then the other one is sacral versus emotional responding. Okay. Sacral is you listen to your gut. Emotional.
Oh, I want to talk about that.
So emotional is, have you ever met somebody that takes a little bit longer to decide something and they have to really oh, I got to sit on this for a while. Yeah. It's because they have to ride the emotions, every emotion that comes with that decision, buying a big decision, not what do you eat?
My ex-husband was like that.
Yeah. And it tabs that way. And I'm until I learned it, I was like, could you just give me a fucking answer? Yeah. And he's like, no. I'm like,
well, yeah, we'd go on vacations. He'd be like, man, I'm so glad you planned this. We would never do anything like this if it wasn't for you, you know, and it's true because he would just overthink it. And I mean, I'm an overthinker too, but not in I have to ride all of the emotions. Actually, if we're being honest, I'm trying to become somebody who doesn't, I have a very highly reactive nervous system and I have a tendency to overcorrect.
Okay.
So if I think that's bad, I'm going to do it the way that it should be perfect, or if I think, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So like I did that wrong. I'm going to do the completely opposite thing, which is an overcorrection, which is way too far a standard deviation from like a normal flow, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like when we talking about, water and design and like whatever you went about, not you, the general you, like a higher power or something,
Mm-hmm.
like different,
Mm-hmm.
that, the sacral versus the emotional. Yeah.
So sacral is like I feel it in my gut. That's a gut response. And usually people that have that authority, they're like, they hear something like, do you want steak tonight? And you're like, ugh. Or like, yeah. Like that's the gut responders. And I'm curious, like, did you feel that when Matt was like, you can go to the Olympia? Did you respond in a way that was like, ugh?
No, it was pure shock. Okay. I mean, I was standing there at the doing tricep push downs, and that was my check-in day. It's a Wednesday. So, I'm always
on Wednesdays?
Yeah, I check in on Wednesdays. So, I would check my WhatsApp all day, so excited. What do you have to say? And so I saw it in the middle of a set, and I was like, and I like looked at myself in the mirror, and I was like, yeah. And then I was like, wait, what? Well, that's like a lot.
Right.
like, what would be the purpose of that? Like, do I want to do that? And then I was like, at the time, I was still really into bodybuilding. I was getting ready to turn pro, so I was still in it, at the time. Like, I hadn't this was the moment. This moment at the tricep fucking extension or whatever was it. And I was like, oh, I've literally never thought about competing as a pro ever. Not once. Like, I didn't have dreams where I was like, oh, and then I'll do this, and then I'll have another off season, and then I'll do this. It was like, nope, pro. Okay, then what? I don't know. Hopefully not this.
That's me. I'm like, I just need to get there.
Just that's fine.
I just need there.
Yeah. I can focus on the rest of my life.
Yeah. Oh, she likes you.
Hi, baby girl.
It takes her a little bit to warm up.
You're so precious.
You turned pro at Vegas, right?
Yeah, with you.
Yeah. Yeah, girl.
You went to Target and got me the one kind of almond butter that I couldn't find at 6 stores, but I was too tired of going around in taxi. You're like, I'll get it. I was like, oh my God, thank you.
Apparently Vegas doesn't understand what almond butter is.
Can't find it anywhere.
No, and we went to like 5 different stores too. I'm like, what in the hell?
I know.
Vegas, pull it together. Vegas. Do you want to sit in the middle? What's up, girl?
Take a seat.
You want to come sit? Hey, come here. You want to come take a seat? Come sit with the girls?
I would definitely say I'm a gut level responder, but I'm trying to kind of integrate both a little bit better because of that overcorrection tendency. So I'll be like, oh, well, he didn't say this, so must be that he doesn't love me and we're going to break up and I should not waste my time on this at all. What a sham. I'm moving to Alaska and I'm going to build myself my own log cabin on a place that is only accessible by snowmobile or plane.
Oh, honestly, I think I've had the exact same thought.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck all of you guys. Yeah. No one's going to get a hold of me.
Yeah, exactly.
No one's going to know how to find me.
Yeah. But here's my sacral part, right? I literally was talking to a realtor looking at these properties. And then I was like, man, Liv, what are you doing? Come on, you don't even have a plane or a snowmobile. Yeah, for real, for real.
You don't know how to fly.
No, I mean, I started to. Took a flying lesson. I thought, nah.
Oh, my God.
Nah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Dude, we're so similar because I'm the same way. I'm like, I'm going to be a pilot. And then I take one lesson. I'm like, we'll wait on that one.
Yeah, I was like, I can drive a boat. It's good enough. Why do I need to know how to do both?
We'll drive a boat, Care Bear. She's like, I don't get it. What's happening? We're good spiraling, Care Bear. This is called spiraling.
Yeah.
That's so wild. Okay, so you decided to get out of bodybuilding. What was that? You said you knew what you were wearing, you knew the light. So you turned pro in Vegas, and then you literally, like, within a year were like, I'm done.
Yeah, that was in September of 2022. Well, no, in July I turned pro. I did one show because I'm not a person who believes in that kind of pain for just one show. So we were going to do Tampa Pro. It was too soon. It was like only a week later. So we waited like 3 weeks and we did the last one of the season for women's physique, which was Savannah Pro.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Savannah Pro.
Yep.
And I did not place. I got, 16th with all the other 16ths. I didn't feel like out of place there completely. Like I felt like if it was something that I really cared about, I could have trained for 3 2-3 more years, and maybe we've been in first call outs, but like it just it didn't. The trade off was not worth it for me, and it just goes back to like why the reason that I got into it was to look good, and then I looked like the Hulk. So I overcorrect a lot.
Yeah.
But at that point, like bodybuilding felt like a safe space, and it felt like a place where I was excelling when everything else really didn't make a lot of sense. Like it was the one place I would say the word coherence. It felt coherent, like the inside and the outside, my body, my mind, and my environment were all aligned. So so I succeeded. I did well, in the times that I did it. It didn't feel. I mean, it was torturous, but it didn't feel like torture in the moment. It felt like safety.
Yeah.
So I think I threw myself into it because that was like all I ever wanted to feel was just like safe. I mean, that's everybody, right? Where am I gonna be okay? Am I okay? Those type of questions. So bodybuilding, gave me that. But I think, I had to let it go, and I didn't know it at the time. At the time, it was just too much time, too much commitment, too much work. Everything in my life was starting to kind of wobble, right? So it was like I can't carry bodybuilding too. Because also I knew that if I wasn't going to be, I was up here, and if I couldn't maintain up here, I didn't want to maintain it at all. I would figure out how I wanted to integrate fitness and how I wanted to eat into my life outside of that kind of world.
Right.
But what bodybuilding, it teaches you to endure, right? I think that sounds obvious, but when you think of like stoicism and all that kind of line of thinking, being able to progress regardless of, temporary emotional feelings. Like you put aside, and this is not to say you should ignore your body, because I think that was the most detrimental thing for me. And that's, as a sacral governed person, ignoring your body is fucking mission critical. It's like not mission critical, like it's annihilation.
Yeah.
Like I'm literally operating with zero compass except my meal plan and my training plan. Like I have no fucking clue what else is going on in my life, and I didn't care. So when you in a sport like bodybuilding, for someone who is a gut level person and someone who didn't have the wherewithal to the self-awareness to know that I was overcorrecting, right? Like I literally just thought that you just had that was just what you had. It was like table stakes for being a bodybuilder. You literally just had to be a psychopath. But I found out, like being around other people, that wasn't true. Like other people can handle it a lot better than I did, without making it like the central focus of their life. So, I bodybuilding taught me that I do have the capability to endure for something that means something to me, which was huge. Like that self-trust, that level of, if I trust myself to do the things to get me to where I want to go. And I mean, a lot of people, I don't even know how people operate in the world without that. I don't know how I did for so long, but that was, a foundational kind of moment for me, was learning that self-trust. So bodybuilding taught me to endure. Then what came after bodybuilding taught me, to author it myself. So when you're bodybuilding, you do make your own decisions: what division you want to be in, what bikini you want to wear, how you want to train. Every day you have a decision: do I want to follow my meal plan? Do I want to do my training? Do I want to do this to failure? Do I want to be slack off today? Yes, there are still choices involved. But for someone like me, who easily hands over external structure to a human, to bodybuilding, to a business, to motherhood, to anything basically that doesn't have to do with looking at myself, it became bad because I was like ignoring my body. And I learned, in the wake of bodybuilding, that my body is not always right, but it's most right first. My mind will trick me, like try to trick me a lot of times. Like you tell ourselves stories, second guess. Like I could tell a real good story. Yeah, I could tell myself a real good story about how I don't need to do this, or how that I hurt that person, but it's okay because blah blah blah, right? But if you're really willing to look at yourself, you basically have to take every story that you've told yourself and say, flip it upside down and test it, right? Like, and I know because when we were talking about your awakening earlier, did you feel like that? Like, after certain stages that you felt like okay, well, I closed this ring, or I got to the like next stage, or I unlocked something deeper. Did you kind of have that feeling too?
Name that feeling. Like, describe it to me again.
Shit.
Nah.
Good.
No, you're good. Was it like I'm trying to think of how to explain it. So when I went through my awakenings, it was like,
like up is down and down is up.
Oh yeah.
Like what the fuck is even real anymore?
Yeah. So it was that, and then it was exposing all the narratives, like what you were saying. That's what I was gonna say. So you were explaining it that way. I was thinking about the narratives that you were talking about. It was nothing made sense. Why? Like at some point, like if I want to get like super sad about it, it's like, what's the point of being here? All of this like is kind of orchestrated, And then it was realizing that I put narratives to every single thing in my life.
We all do. We still do. It's just how close to reality those narratives actually are.
No, exactly. Exactly. And then it's like, how close to reality is that? And then like showing you what ended up unraveling after you put that narrative to it. Like with relationships and courses of life and things like that. And that was really eye-opening to me too, because now I'm more aware of when my brain starts to get all shaky like that. I'm like, if I make this decision, I can kind of see it unravel different ways.
And I think that's what I've found is interesting. I'd be interested to hear if you undergo kind of the same thing. Is like over time, my lag time between the time that, when in retrospect is the only way you can see this, because you're looking at the timeline in retrospect, but my lag time between I realized something but it actually integrated is much shorter. Like I'll look back and be like, oh, I said this 3 weeks ago, but now I'm just seeing the full picture. It's almost like I see the words and I know what they mean, but I'm not seeing it the whole 360-degree view. So my lag time between recognition or awareness and integration is much shorter. So it used to be 3 months, 3 weeks, 3 days, 3 hours, because of that like development of self-awareness that I didn't have before. So we were able to evolve like in real time. Like when you're monitoring what you're doing in real time, you're able to, like you just said, kind of see, all right, well, if I pick A, if I pick B, we're not always right. I thought when you were awakened that every choice you made was going to be clean and right because it was aligned and it was going to be, but that's not the case.
I so wish it was.
There was a lot of grief when I realized that was not the case. I was like, what do you mean, guys? Yeah. We got all the way here. We still can't make the right decision.
Nope.
But I like also right is relative, right? Like,
oh my God, I was just going to say that. Right and wrong don't exist. And I think that was a Care Bear. Trying to text your friends? Jesus. So right and wrong don't exist. I said, what the fuck I don't subscribe to a certain organized religion or anything. I believe in one God. I think all religions kind of tie back to one divine being.
Yeah, me too.
But with that being said, there's a lot of religions that created right and wrong. Community created right and wrong. Right and wrong is what feels right or wrong between you and your God and whatever you believe. It's not because Carol down the street said that the Bible in Psalms or Revelation said that it's right or wrong to do this. Like, shut it, Carol. Like, it doesn't exist. And that to me really changed my life, because I thought I was a bad person for a really, really long time for the decisions that I've made. Different decisions here and there just because of what a religion told me. Or people at school or work or this or that, like they give you like the rule book of how you're supposed to behave on this earth.
Yeah.
And then once you have that awakening, you're like, those are all social constructs.
Well, yeah.
That's not even real.
Well, I'm glad you said that word, social constructs, because what I learned over the course of examining my life was that every time, and I don't know, we can talk about the source of this for days or hours or whatever, very traumatic, violent, abusive childhood, all of these things made me very hyper vigilant, hyper aware, always scanning, reading the room for danger, all of these things, right? Yeah. So it's really no phenomenon that I spent my life trying to find homes in other external structures. And religion to me is just like organized religion is just another one of those. And I will say that I went down that path too. Like when I was trying to figure out what the fuck was happening to me, like to kind of bring it in a full picture, you build this incredibly high performing life that looks really great on the outside. Like, wow, she owns a business and she's like this really amazing bodybuilder and she's a mom and she's still sexy.
Agreed.
Like, wow. But like it was built on like I was carrying all of these external structures with none on the inside.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I mean, I was doing the things. Didn't that mean that's who I was, right? But like I never examined that. So like I was always, in long-term relationships, didn't keep, a lot of friends, like just trying to keep control over everything. I did it with bodybuilding. I did it with my business. I did it with motherhood. Over functioning without actually knowing what the fuck was happening inside.
Yeah.
And so then you always have this disconnect between like, there's no coherence because who you actually are is not being listened to. You're just pouring yourself into all of these external structures. And you're right, like the structure is the thing that says inside of this structure, this is right or wrong. Some people need religion to put a structure around their whole life. And I'm not saying that those people don't have no internal orientation. Plenty of people do. Mm-hmm. But that's what feels safe to them. And that's wonderful. My sister is one of those people. And she's my best friend in the whole wide world. Mm-hmm. Like, and I go to church with her sometimes. Like, but they exist for a reason. They're all similar for a reason. And like one of the things I was going to talk to you about today is like this idea of awakening and like self-authorship and all of these things. They do sound similar because they are similar. Because we're all different operating systems, sacral, what was the other word you used? Emotional,
we're all different.
And we all come with our own like filters of how we understand the world or whatever. Yeah. So for some people, that is what they need. And I mean, I did it with the book too, right? So I start writing this book. I'm like, oh my God, thank God. This is what I want to do my whole life. I've been published as an author like since I was 12. Like, duh, this is the thing. Like, this is the most true, me. So I was like, okay, I start writing this book. So then I start outsourcing all of my decision making to ChatGPT. I'm like, should I write about this? Should I write about that? Blah, blah, blah. Oh my God, that was an entire fucking Alice in Wonderland rabbit hole for months. Good thing I examined a lot of things with a neutral space. Neutral is in air quotes, but mostly neutral, high speed interface. So that was good for me. I said things I never said out loud. I got to see things in print that I never saw reflected back at me, specifically about violence and physical abuse that I wouldn't name that way. So the exercise was very healing to me, but at some point I was like, I am losing authorship. I'm not trying to find external structure in God. I'm not trying to find external structure in a boyfriend. I'm not trying to find external structure in my business or in bodybuilding or as a mom. I did it to my book. And I was like, for months I was stuck. I kept starting over and I kept starting over. And then in April 1st, actually the day of the rocket launch, so I'll never forget it, I stopped and I said, if I don't make my own decisions about this book, about my life, because that's the thing about authorship, is that once you realize that you're in charge, the page becomes your responsibility. Once you realize that the external structure is not going to be here to tell you what to do all the time, because you're a human with inner discernment, you become responsible for your life. And I think that's why a lot of people will find solace and find shelter in an external structure like I did, like we all kind of have a tendency to do, I think, just for our own survival and safety purposes. But we're avoiding the responsibility of, if I do X, it's Y, right? Like, oh, well, I followed my meal plan and blah, blah, blah. So obviously it must be the coach's fault. I'm not saying that doesn't happen. It does happen. It literally happened to me. And not that it was his fault, it just is what it was, you know what I mean? But just kind of that responsibility that it takes to say, I'm in charge here. I make the decisions. I have discernment. Like as Tavish says, you just learn to do whatever you want.
It's so weird.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's scary for people, deciding to do whatever you want.
Yeah.
He's like, well, okay, here's your permission. You get to do whatever you want.
It's too much.
Wow. Like, what do I want? Like, and that's a whole new exploration, right? Like, if you finally accept that you're the one in charge, it's liberating, but there's responsibility tied to it. So external structures eliminate some of that, I think, weight of the responsibility.
Yeah. And then what if there's things that you don't like about yourself in your internal structure and you have to meet those pieces?
Oh, yes. I'm so glad that you said that, because you said something earlier that made me think of it, like iterations of the self, right? So when you're inside and you're changing and you're iterating and you can see it, like that's like one whole like experience in itself. What was I going to say about that?
What was the context I said iterations? Was it like when I was saying I was evolving? Yeah, that was nuts, man. It's been a lot.
So, yeah. Lag time, evolving.
Ooh, okay.
So, when you're... Fuck, no, I lost it again.
Just roll with it. Well, lag time with evolving, like between phases of your life, like it keeps
let me just go to this story since I keep losing my train of thought. Let's go bring it back to the ground. So I was having sushi recently with my sister, and I said, Katie, do you think this is the most true version of me? Like, do you think that, and she's, okay, but before that, my friend asked me, who's the one person who's been witness to your life, like, the whole time? And I was like, nobody. And he was like, what? And I was like, no, like, nobody. I moved away from my mother. My father's not in my life. My sister and I weren't close until we were adults, and my brother and I weren't close either. So, no one.
Check.
Like, literally, I was like, man. So, for a few days, I was like, oh, I feel kind of sad about this. And then I was like, well, that just, just proves what I always thought, that I'm just... Here I go again on my own, you know, like I could do anything by myself and I don't need anybody. But then, a few more days passed and I thought, no, it is Katie, my sister.
Yeah.
Even though we weren't close when we were little, we were still in the trenches together of what our childhood was, which was not nice.
Right.
Fancy, real fucking fancy, but just terrifying. So, I, within a few days, changed my perception. It's a pretty radical change to go from there's no one in my life who has seen me to, yes, there actually absolutely is. And here's what this means now to me, to her, to our future and things like that. Just that, we always think that like, awakening is like some peaceful process. We're sitting on a beach meditating, and
it's like, ugly.
It is so not that.
It's not cute.
I think that we'll go back to that. But I think what happens a little bit with the lag time and the evolution is that you become a little bit more graceful at it. Instead of just being like, oh, I'm going to overcorrect. It's like, all right, well, just take a breath. Like, let it sit for 12 hours before you spew it out of your goddamn mouth. Like, see how it lands, because in 12 hours you might get a new data point that updates your perception. And I think of it like a kaleidoscope. Like, we get new data points and the kaleidoscope turns a little bit.
Oh, cool.
Like, the contents haven't changed, right? But the way we look at them changes. And when we can see them differently, I think that we get, if there's 360 points on a circle, we don't all respond to the same point on the circle. We got to see it a certain way sometimes. And then we can kind of like accept and evolve. And so like, as you become more self-aware, I think the lag time shortens, your reaction time, you put a little, I'm not just like thought, react, action, like thought, this is how I feel right now. How am I going to feel in 3 hours? How am I going to feel in 3 days? Like, depending on the severity of like the decision that you're making. So just, that's been an eye-opening thing for me.
And becoming more gentle with yourself. So when I say it's like ugly, like your first awakening, it's not cute. No. And then like I had an awakening probably 2024, 23, 24. Whenever we lived in that shithole Port St. Lucie. Did you ever go to that house?
Yes, multiple times.
To our house?
Lived with you. Yes.
Dude, it was fucking awful. It was so
bad.
bad.
I'm not gonna say it's awful. It was very fine, but this is very much an upgrade.
It rained inside.
Oh. Okay. Well, I never saw that.
Good, so. Thank God. But that was when I first I started getting into it, and then it was recent that I had my biggest enlightenment, and that one it was I was sweating and crying and bah! But then you as you go through this because you have to commit to this kind of self-awakening, spiritual enlightenment kind of life. You have to commit to it because you're gonna uncover some things that you're I don't think I want to touch that.
It's hard.
And then the commitment is I'm going to fucking touch that because I am committed to this path in life of I'm going to know myself inside and out, my internal structures. And I tell people are getting out of relationships or stuff like that, because I was in a relationship where I didn't know who I was. It was extremely toxic. And it's like that where you're what you're saying, I didn't know what food I liked. I didn't know what music I truly liked. I didn't know if I actually liked metal. Did I not like metal? Did I want to live here? Did I not? I didn't know because I lost myself completely in this external person. Yeah. You know what I mean? So enlightenment, you're finding out what your soul is.
Yeah.
And I think that's another thing going through this is I can separate body and soul. I know that I'm just in a vessel that's a pretty tight ass, cool vessel.
So sexy.
It's so fun. But I know that.
Yeah.
I know that. And I'm aware of that. But then as you go through this path in life, you gather these little tools and you put them in your little toolbox.
You put them in your toolbox.
You put them in your little toolbox, the little mini tools. And then when you're going through something, you're all right, what tool do I need? And you're more gentle with yourself because you have all these tools now.
Well, yeah, I want to go back to that because this is what I forgot I was talking about earlier, the woods. You said you went on a substantial trip, my 24-hour trip.
Oh, yeah. Oh, shit, that was a while ago.
It was. Yes. It was.
Yes, bring it up.
Okay, so this was I would say, towards the end of the awakening period, right? So Patrick left in September. I was left with all of the pieces of my identity had been stripped away, shed, whatever you want to call it, collapsing. I was very unsure, very untethered. It was very disorienting. I felt like I was just suspended in goo. I no internal direction guiding me or anything like that. So slowly, I like to use the word cracking because I feel like enlightenment for me was a cracking open. There was certain, something was knocking at the door. And I'm going to use enlightenment and self-awareness interchangeably. But something was knocking at the door, and then you have one moment that something happens and something has changed and you suddenly can't operate the same way anymore. And then another thing happens and you can't unsee that. You can't go back to the previous way of thinking anymore. And I think that if you're trying to identify what it is in your own life, that's really for me the litmus test. What were the moments when something changed and we couldn't unsee it, couldn't go back, right? What are those forks in the road for you? And so for me, that was around September, October, November. And I had gotten to a point where I felt really stuck. I was okay, I surrender to X, Y, and Z. I, know this to be true. And I felt like I was starting to get hold of something, but nothing was feeling solid still. I still felt very untethered, very lost is the best word. So I was a few years before, I'd listened to Comfort Crisis in the car going to my sister's house for Thanksgiving. And as soon as I heard it, because it was right after bodybuilding, I was that's it. I'm going to be a backpacker because it's hard. I'll stay in shape. I won't get fat. I can be alone. And also I heard if you go to the woods for 3 to 5 days in a low audio, low decibel place, your whole nervous system will reset and I'll be new. Perfect. It's exactly what I need.
Healed.
Like, thank you, Michael Easter, going to the woods. And my life will be healed. So I bought all this stuff in 2023. Matt remembers I bought a knife and I bought a backpack. Everybody remembers it.
You were fucking backpacking on the stair stepper to prepare.
Yes, I was. I was rucking with my weight, my 45-pound weight. It was like a thing. I was so excited. Then my husband and I broke up again. So, that didn't happen. But I was in my apartment, my new apartment after, 2025, moved into my new apartment, left my husband, all this stuff. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, God damn it, I fucking lost this shit. Like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I know I moved into this apartment to write this book. I don't know what this fucking book is supposed to be about. Nothing in my life has changed. It's just all fucking shit. Like, God damn it. Like, what am I doing? Like, my business is failing. My kids won't talk to me. My boyfriend left. Like, I am losing money. I'm losing my mind. I'm getting fat. All of the things. All of the things that were the opposite from what I was. Making a shit ton of money, totally fit. Guys up my ass, and my children, well, they just wanted my money, but regardless. So everything was flipped upside down, ruptured. Everything ruptured. So I was laying in my bed and I looked over into my closet, and there was the backpack with the tags on it, my $1,000 fucking hiking backpack, and I was like, I'm going tonight.
No.
Yeah. And I was like, I had all the shit. I was going on the Appalachian Trail. I had the shit. I had bear spray, all the things, right? So it's like Monday. It was a Monday too. It was random. I was like, I need answers. Like, I need answers now. Like, I can't do this fucking undulating, I don't know what the hell's happening in my life bullshit. Yeah. So I packed up my thing. Oh, I called Jonathan to get to the state park. I had $20 in my bank account because I was really broke. And, also no credit, no savings, and no parents. $20. I said, okay, I don't care. Called them up. What about the dispersed camping? Is it open? Yes, $5. Done. I'll be there in 2 hours. Packed up my stuff, got there. It wasn't in 2 hours. It was much, much later. But it was my first time packing. I had to be thorough and make sure everything was in there. So I got there. It was like 3 o'clock. I go to the front. I get my paper map. And I've never slept in the woods by myself before, ever. And I'm only planning to go for one night, but still, okay, so I'm going to go backpack out. And she's like, it's only like 3 miles. Well, that took like 6 hours. Because I got lost, and then it was dark, and then I lost my fucking thing that goes in my pipe, and I was mad about that. But anyway, I'm walking out there. I'm having this beautiful time. And you were talking about gathering tools earlier. And through the course of that 24 hours, a lot of things happened, which you can read in the book because it's like a whole extended scene. But when I was on my way out, I had 2 cell phones, and they were both on 2%. It was 2 in the morning, and I was sleeping in my tent. And it got really cold. I left my rain fly off because, of course, I wanted to look at the stars and be like, look at me. I'm like the girl on the Amazon ad. This is so wonderful. Surely I'll find answers here. As soon as I got there, I put my tent together. I fell the fuck asleep. At 2 in the morning, it was cold as shit. So I got out, put the rain fly on. And then I was like laying there and I couldn't go back to sleep. And then I looked at my phone. It said 2%. Mind you, it's dark. My phone is going to die, which is my only map, because I didn't bring the Garmin because I don't have the subscription anymore because I never went on the Appalachian Trail. So it's my phone on 2%, this paper map, and I'm lost from the night before still. But I'm like, whatever, I'll figure it out. I camped in like the middle of somewhere you're not supposed to camp, but nobody fuck was out there, so it didn't really matter. So I get up, and all of a sudden I just heard something. And I say this is probably the most spiritual thing that ever happened to me, I guess. I heard myself, or whoever you want to call it, say, walk. Okay, 2 in the morning, packing up my shit. And it was partially because my phone was dying, but I knew it was going to die before I got out. So I've already given up on that as a source of help, right? Like, I'm just going to have to find my way out on my own with this paper map. Yeah. And no fucking clue where I am. Yeah. And I don't know how to use a compass.
Who does?
So,
or a fucking paper map, to be honest.
Yeah.
Besides Tavish's dad.
I think I could have drawn a better paper map myself, but
I think I've drawn a better paper map at Applebee's.
Applebee's, yeah. The kids menu through the maze. So that's kind of what I felt like. I felt like, all right, I'm in this kids menu maze. I don't know where the fuck I am.
Kids menu maze.
It's like, I'm like, God damn it. Like, I could be anywhere. Like, the park is big. Like, it would take you a couple days to walk around the whole park. So I'm in there, and I get up, and I hear this voice, walk. Okay, good. Let's walk. I've come here what I need to do, right? Like, I've already acquired all of these lessons, right, in my brain that I'm going to write about when I leave. So I'm like, okay, well, this was kind of a bust, but I don't need to see the sun come up to have gotten what I needed, so I'm going to go. I pack everything up, and I start walking, and I'm like, okay. Last thing I did before my phone died was, or I thought my phone was going to die, I sent my location to my boyfriend, and I said, I was like, listen, my phone's going to die. This is where I'm at. If you don't hear from me in a while, send someone to find me.
Smart.
So I was like, okay. Well, I got that crossed off the list. So then I'm walking, and I think I'm going the right way. And then I see like a barricade and it's super dark. Sorry, you guys. I don't know if you're used to walking in the woods with a headlamp where there's no ambient lighting, but it is quite dark. So anyways, out of the corner of my eye, I see this, what are they called? Like the street things that, I just used the word, like
a gate, what did you use? Barrier?
Barricade.
Barricade.
So there's a barricade there, and I was like, typically a barricade means don't go that way.
I'm gonna go.
But I was like, got this really long path right here, and I got this, I'm just gonna see what's behind it. Maybe it's an alligator den, I don't know. We're gonna find out. So I go behind it, and it's like, I felt like I was in Hocus Pocus, in the scene when you're like going from the grass, and the witch like steps on the road. She thinks it's like water, and I was like, I'm on the road.
Oh shit!
I'm on the road, and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna be okay.
Yeah.
So I was like, phew, put this compass away that I don't know how to use. Text my boyfriend, I'm fine, my phone's gonna die. I really gotta go now, bye. And then I was like, oh, thank God, I'm free. Okay, I know where I'm going. My car is that way. If I walk for long enough, I'm gonna get to it. So whatever, I'm on a road. Good. So I walk, and I'm like, all right, I gotta, I'm thinking about all of these things like that I learned, and it was like my first toolbox. I think that what that night in the woods did for me was like give me my first toolbox of like self-trust lessons. Like
trust your instincts.
Yeah, like there was no magical revelation. There wasn't like some moment where the skies parted or anything like that. Like it was just walk, and that's what I did. I walked, and I had no choice but to listen to myself, and I had a fucking magical time. I fucking talked to an owl in the woods on the way out.
Dope.
It was amazing. And I was there for one night, way too much expensive gear, but it was everything that I needed, and I think that changed everything for me was going and doing that. And it wasn't physically very hard, and wasn't like I was in some kind of peril. You know, I mean, I think I heard some hogs at one point. And
God,
I actually I ditched my sandwich because I was like, I don't think I want that. I was like, roast beef to the wind. Okay, goodbye. So I just had my granola bars, but
give the pigs a sandwich so they run away from you.
Yeah. I was always like, my camp is that way. I was like, sandwich is going that way.
Roast beef? It's beef. I'm like, is that weird? But pigs eat humans, so.
I mean, it was like, pub sub.
Oh my! Why would you give away the pub sub?
I know. At 3 a.m, I really wish they had it.
That's currency. You did them a favor. That's so nice.
Do them a favor.
Did you get what you needed out of that?
I did, and it was so like, okay, let me name you some of the things, because these are the things that helped me. I don't, in no particular order, because I don't even know if I can remember them all. But one of them was I had brought a whole book, and I only read 2 pages. Why bring the whole book if you only need 2 pages?
Were they good pages?
They were the best pages. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It was just happened to be what I have this very uncanny ability to find something meaningful in whatever the fuck I read. So probably I was like, oh yeah, that's perfect. Going to bed. Good night. But I had carried all these fucking books out there, 2 to be exact, and I read 2 pages. The other one was like, so there was this part where I was really far in, like close to where my camp was supposed to be, and there was like deep water, and it's dusk, and there's no one out there for hours. I'd already been walking for like 2 hours. And there was no other way to get through this section to where I needed to go unless I want to go in the deep woods. And I was like, no, I'm not really trying to do that. So I was like, well, I can turn around or I can just fucking go and go on the path that I need to go through, like, and just be a little scared and trust. I mean, this was the whole thing, right? Trust, right? And I'm not saying to go run through a puddle of alligators or snakes, but like trust something, right? Trust yourself, trust in God, trust in whatever. Like, I could have turned back. I could have stayed where I was. I would have never, gotten to have the experience that I did have. So, I did that. I mean, they're on my Instagram. I can't remember right now, but essentially, like, the point is that 124, not even 24 hours, like 3 p.m. to 6 a.m. or whatever period of time, I went back. I broke up with my boyfriend. Well, yeah, I broke up with my boyfriend again. Because that was one of the things that I realized, like, when I was out there, was like, I was not stressed at all. I was not worried about getting attacked or lost or dehydrated or whatever. I mean, I'm not going to get dehydrated fast, but I was not scared of the things that people say you should be scared of when you go to the woods. Like, people are like, oh, you're so strong. I'm like, am I really? Because it just seems like I'm in the woods, like, not a big deal. The one thing that stressed me out was coming from outside, which was talking to my boyfriend at the time. And it wasn't that he was doing anything wrong, but it was an eye-opening experience for me because I was still not trusting my own axis completely, right? I was like, I'm out here, and the only thing that's stressing me out is on this cell phone. What the fuck? And I was, at this point, I had gotten the farthest I had gotten to where my camp was supposed to be. It was dark as shit. It was like 9 o'clock at night. The grass was as tall as I was. It was wet. I could not see anything. And I had to make the decision if I wanted to keep going through or, go sleep in one of the other places that I had seen. And I wasn't even really worried about what was around me, which I should have been, because I was like in the reeds, in the swamp, like in the fucking all kinds of things probably around me. And the one thing that was bothering me was on my phone, and it was an external structure that I was looking for support. And here I am in the middle of the woods supporting myself just fucking fine. So I think that just even those 12 hours or whatever it was like, it was enough to take the next step, you know?
Oh, yeah.
I said that to my sister. Sometimes I feel like you're on one life raft, and then you got to make it further enough to get to the next one, to get to the next one, to get to the next one, or like a lily pad or whatever. It's the same thing that got you to one point is not the same thing that's going to get you to the next point. And that is kind of something that I was thinking about when we were talking about, like, the iterations of self and the evolutions of self, and how as you become more self-aware that the lag time is slower and it updates more quickly. Is that fuck, I said too many things again.
Just roll with it, babe. Lily pads.
Yeah.
Iterations.
You're just making it to the next best place, right? So when I asked my sister, like, do you think this is the most true version of myself? She was like, of course. Of course it is, Olivia. Because you're always going to keep hopefully, keep going. And I think that that's kind of what I've learned about, like, my internal compass, building an internal structure that didn't exist before and I gave away to other things.
Yeah.
Was like, well, what is going to guide me?
Yeah.
And part of it is body, like listening to my body, but then not reacting super quickly, letting it register, checking with my mind, checking with the environment, seeing if it coheres, right? So I don't know, it's just all been a process, but the woods was definitely like a first step.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I mean, I don't really know. I guess what my brain goes to is like, well, how does that help anybody? Like, they're just gonna go, like, so if you want help, like, go sleep in the woods. No, I mean, if you want help, I will say, do something by yourself.
Did you watch my story today?
No.
So my story today was like, I've been struggling with patience lately.
Okay.
But then my message is always that you need to be still.
Be still.
And that's, you have to have...
Stay.
Yeah.
Stay with yourself.
Yeah.
Don't look away. You said this earlier. Don't look away. That's where the fucking good shit is. Even if it's ugly, even if it's okay, you hurt somebody. You did something wrong. You did like whatever. Like why? Why did you do that? If you don't ever look, one, you just keep hurting yourself and you keep hurting other people that you love. And I think like if you think about, well, why do I care about this? Why should anybody care about what happened? And it's because we all struggle. We all struggle to love ourselves and other people. But I think one of the things that has become apparent to me is that as much as I want to believe that like I'm this island and that like I don't need anybody and I can just do everything myself, life is kind of hollow like that.
Yeah.
And I saw in one of my Alaska shows, like the guy lived out in his dream world, like up in the Arctic Circle, right? And he raised his kids there with his wife, but then eventually his wife was kind of over it, and she was like, I don't want to do this life anymore. And he was like, well, I fucking don't want to live anywhere else. So he stayed, and then he ended up, in the season I was watching, he was dying, and like all he could talk about was like, this is the best place in the world, but I won't have anybody here with me. I was like, yeah, but come on, man, it's pretty cool. Like, you're cool, like, you're good. And like, he was just like, no, actually, like, I hate Anchorage and I hate the city or Fairbanks or whatever, but I want to go back and spend, my time with my wife, who I'm still madly in love with. And I think, so when we're listening kind of like to ourselves as we go throughout our day, like, I think a lot of thoughts converging at once, but this idea of like, does this bring me closer or further away from myself is something that's helped me.
Alignment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I talk a lot about alignment.
Yeah. Well, and I think if you don't trust yourself, you won't, you don't look, you won't develop self-trust. If you don't develop self-trust, you can't update the operating system or like improve your life, right? And I don't think that anybody wants to hurt themselves or the people that they love. So I guess that's the reason, for self-love and love of others, so you can not have to live in a log cabin in Alaska or starve yourself to death in bodybuilding or try to make a man like make your life worth something.
Yeah.
Pick one, like just what it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck. Different colored ducks, but
yeah. No, I was just telling Tav, I know somebody that's like a caregiver, like has to take care of people, and like when they're not able to do that, they like don't know what to do, and it's like, but why is that a thing? And it's like, for you, what keeps coming to mind for me is control. Like, you are very in control of so many things. You were in control of your business. I mean, and I worked with you. Yeah. Like, we worked together.
Yeah. That was a crazy day.
Dog. What's up, dog? Like, those were and I saw you, high driver, you produced a lot. Like, you had a lot going on. You had a team, and then you were like very like claws in control for bodybuilding, like nothing. And I remember when you dug in on that and you were like, you're so tunnel focused, tunnel vision. You're like, nothing can deter me from like this goal.
Yeah.
The fucking peanut butter. You're like, I have to have this all. I was like, I got it. We're going to go get it.
I was like, oh my God, this girl is a fucking psycho. No, and I was like, I guess I am.
Listen, that was the mission though. I was like, she got her pro card, whatever.
Oh my God. I know. The pro card almond butter.
Fuck yeah. We did it.
But
that's the thing, is that you had, and then it was so much, and then all that control was taken from you.
Yeah.
All of that control was taken from you, and now you're getting rebirthed into who you are today.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like control is that mine was not control. Mine was with bodybuilding and stuff. When you're talking about that, it was admiration.
Okay.
Like approval.
Yeah.
Approval from others.
Yeah.
Acceptance.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Like, duh. If anybody who does it says that's not part of the reason that they like it, then they're just lying.
Right. And I got into mine after a freaking bad breakup. The one I was mentioning earlier.
Yeah.
And it was like, want a revenge body, da da da. And I just want to be accepted because I felt rejected by the person that I cared about the most at the
That's
time.
why I went to bodybuilding. Hello.
Yeah. Like control, like I didn't have so much of a control thing about it. I just liked being told what to do, I guess, and I liked looking good. But I found that all throughout my life, like with the military and with, what I did for work and things like that, like I needed acceptance, I needed admiration. And then it was when I went through these changes, evolutions, it was like, I need to just admire myself. Mm-hmm. You're so fucking cool. Like, I don't need anybody to give me their approval. I don't even want people. I'm so like, thank you. That's really nice. But like, I just so don't need it anymore because I just need it for myself.
Yes. So see I never experienced bodybuilding that way. So that's the only reason that I have my perspective that I do.
Yeah.
I do recognize that other people are able to do it because they do have an internal structure, because they do have, they are able to detach from that kind of outcome, whatever it may be. You know what I mean? And it's true. And I think that I was thinking about this on the way here. When you go to shows and the promoters, everybody, I guess they only did this in the MPC, but, you guys should all be proud of yourself for being here. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'm here to win. Like, whatever.
Oh, we're here to fucking win.
But like the thing too, like we were. But I think also, like for me, the thing that I was lacking to see is that all of those people there, what we should be admiring about them was like a sense of agency, mm-hmm. right? Like regardless of how well they were going to do or whatever, which is something my ex-husband could never do. It's just like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to dedicate myself to do it and do it. Like, not everybody can do that. I don't think I realized that, mm-hmm. At the time. I would be like, example for breakup preps or whatever. And I'd be like, I never really got it. But it's a reclamation of power. It doesn't even necessarily have to be anything about your body, but more like, I'm the author of this life, and regardless if this person is here or not.
I think it was also it's kind of like, God, we're such bodybuilders, holy shit. It's like when you're changing your energy source, like when you pull carbs or something, your body finally starts using its fat for energy and stuff, and you're like, mine was yesterday. I was like, I want to die. But like, you've got to change that energy source too eventually, mm-hmm. of, I'm not going to continue to use my ex-boyfriend as a reason to why I want to look like this. Now it is, I love how I feel. I love how I look. I have more energy. My skin's better. I sleep better. Yes. I think better. I'm more aggressive at work. Like, it's all these other things. You got to switch that energy source, that reason.
Exactly. That happened for me too. Like, I'm going to say, obviously, the reason I started bodybuilding was so my husband would think I was attractive. I accomplished that in 11 weeks. I bodybuilt for 3 years. You know what I mean? Like, I did my first, from lifestyle client to first show was 11 weeks. And I did bikini and I got second in open. And I was already too big for the division. They thought I was figure. And I was like, I don't even know what that means. I've only been doing this for 11 weeks. So I was like, I don't know. But
how long did you compete for?
Like 2019 to 2022.
I was going to say, so my awakening was early in my competitive career.
Oh, okay.
So I haven't been competing. I've only been competing for 4 years.
Okay.
This will be my 4th year.
Okay.
So I think...
Oh, I didn't know that. Mm-hmm, I thought you competed long before I knew you.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Mm-mm. I competed the year before we met. That was my first show.
Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe I did know that.
I've been training for a long time. And he's been competing.
You've been training for a long time.
Yeah, he's been competing for 20 years.
That's right. Yeah. Now I remember because we talked about this in Vegas.
Yeah.
I've always associated with fitness. That's because of all the gym and stuff.
Yeah, we
and
own
your
the
life.
gym
You've
and
always
all that.
been fit. So,
yeah.
Okay.
But I think, so going back to what you said is that I think I caught myself early in my career to change that mindset.
And you can enjoy it.
I can enjoy it now. Yeah.
Like, so with me too, I was like, okay, I'm done with bodybuilding, whatever. So then I get this boyfriend. Oh God, best boyfriend. So happy with him, right? And he wants to do a show. I'm like, we just met. And I was like, he just moved in. And I was like, yes, I know he just moved in. And we just met. We're in the same sentence. And that's exactly why it didn't work out.
I didn't even pick up on that. I was like, yeah, what happened?
So he wanted to go into prep. And I, was pro or whatever. And his ex was an Olympian bikini. And he could have turned pro too. He probably would have actually if we hadn't broken up. But so he's like, "Will you help me prep for this show?"
That's
and
such
I was
a
like,
flex. You just said that too. Like, he could have turned pro. I did not.
Dude, he looked good. He looked good. He does men's physique. So then I prepped him till 4 weeks out when we broke up. But when he first asked me, he was like, "You do this," and I was like, "Oh God!" And he was living in my house.
Gut responder.
Yeah,
No.
I was like, I literally like my skin. It's got goosebumps right now. Like my skin crawled, and I was like, at first when we were first started, I was thinking he's like, I might do a show, and I was like, okay, follow your dreams. I'm like, okay, well, at least we don't live together. So then he moved in, and he's like, I really want to do the show, and I was like, will you coach me? And I was like, oh no,
oh
what?
No.
Look, I was like, I've never coached a man. I've never coached a competitor. You are a man and a competitor. I don't know shit about man drugs. I don't know shit about your metabolism. Like, And he was like, come on, babe. And I was like, okay, I can do this. So then it came like a little personal challenge or whatever. But like it gave me PTSD because my experience with bodybuilding was so off the fucking rails. Like I was insane. Like I remember we were in Vegas and Matt we were in my room and he was going to do a check-in and I was eating my food and I used to take my 1/8 tablespoon of salt and pour it in my mouth. I didn't want to put it in my food because I thought I'd lose some. So I would just pour it in my mouth and Matt was like, what are you doing? And I was like, eating my salt. And he was like,
Matt's probably like, ew.
He's like, why are you like this? And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. So yeah, I don't know. Like, my experience was so crazy. So here's this man in my house where I went through all of this years of just, when you are fucking, what it's like when you see yourself, you remember your memories on prep. Oh, that's where I fell asleep on the couch in the pile of laundry. Oh, that's where I stand when I'm really, really tired. Oh, that's the room I go to when I can't sleep with my husband because I'm snoring too loud.
Yeah.
Like whatever, my body heat is like 1,000 degrees at night.
Yeah.
So like, all of these memories came flooding back. But like, I did it so crazily that like, and then I saw him, right? I was like, okay, so I agreed to do this. I'm like, fine, whatever. Like, who am I to stand in the way of this man's dreams? I can't do that. So I agreed to do it. It's going really well. I was after like, I guess 6 weeks or something like that. I was like, oh, he's like normal. Like he's still doing what he's supposed to do and going to the gym and eating his food, but he's like really chill. And I was like, oh, like people can do this and not be crazy.
Yes.
Yes, and I was like,
possible.
Oh, and I was like, man,
that's what makes you so you. Like we're talking about Vegas and stuff. Like I didn't have a problem. I was like, this is just Liv. Like that's why we fucking love her. She's just so
crazy.
Not even 100%. You're 1,000 fucking percent in whatever you do.
I know it's in. I talked to an attorney yesterday.
Oh shit.
And he was like, I was talking to Becky because I used to live in the same complex as him. So he was like, I was talking to Becky, and he was like, Liv, she just goes for things. Like,
yes,
if she wants it, she just goes and gets it. And I'm like, I was like, I would like to tell you this some like heroic trait that I developed, but I think it's just trauma adaptation.
Yes. Trauma response.
Trauma response. Don't know what to tell you. Just worked out.
Squeaky wheel. Gets what she wants. It's so true, though.
Well, so I think that there's a really interesting angle. Is that whenever I thought about like my life up until this year, looking back on like my life, I realized that I always described, and this happened. Writing the book helped me with this too, because my first iterations were all about the things that people did to me, what happened to me. I was scotch-free. I was unscathed. I think because my intentions were good. Like I think there's very few times in my life I've actually had ill intentions for somebody. And I will say, I don't know where that came from, but it just is. Like, and I think that because of that, and maybe we all feel that way, I don't know. But because of that, I had concocted this wonderful story about how the world was shit and I was just this great person. This great, strong, independent, kind, loving. But what about, like, I was just not thinking about all the times that I wasn't those things, that I was crazy or malicious. I mean, malicious is a strong word because I think that's what the absence was, is like, I don't think I had maliciousness, but I was deeply dysregulated, deeply unsatisfied. I had zero internal compass. And so, because of that, I hurt people, even if my intentions were not good. I mean, bad. Even if my intentions were not bad, I still ended up hurting people or not being able to accept love from people. Even like my situation, like with my mother. I moved out when I was like 16 in the very most fancy way you can, of course, going to boarding school, because didn't, like, I'm not like trailer park violence, this is like white collar violence.
Okay.
So I'm like, all right, I'm going to go to boarding school. She was thrilled because she loved telling her friends I went to fancy school. So, left then, and never really returned. Like, I guess, my sister has told me over the last few months that her whole thing with me, she just wanted me to like come back and give her another chance and all this stuff. She was not somebody who should ever deserve another chance, and I do stand by that. But I've even thought to myself recently, if she was alive today, if I would give her another chance because of how I've changed.
Yeah.
Not because I think that what happened to me is okay, because it's not. And not because I think that pain needs some sort of justification, like a consolation prize, like, well, it was really hard, but I'm stronger because of it, because I don't agree with that really either. The idea of going through pain to somehow be more righteous on the other side or something. So that's not it at all. But just like, because my operating system is different, and like my kaleidoscope has shifted, and like the way that I see her and the way that I see the things that she handled. And like, I think that was the step that she never got to, was like seeing how her hurtedness hurt other people. And so I think even in the absence of malicious intent, we hurt other people, we hurt ourselves, and then we just end up alone. And the thing with that is, like, I don't think that a human can fully develop on their own, without relational interaction, because of like the idea that we can mirror things for other people. We can see Mel Robbins said something on one of her podcasts. It was like, oh, go on, once you break up. She was talking to her daughter about like a breakup, and her therapist said, oh, go 30 days, don't talk to the man, you'll get over it. And the mom was like, yes, but also like go on dates with other people, because when you are with other people, you can realize, this is how we're the different, this is how we're the same. So even if you know absolutely nothing about yourself, you can learn by contrast, by absence, by similarities, right? Yeah. So like you start like building this kind of Venn diagram of yourself, but in the absence of that kind of relational engagement, there's growth becomes, I feel like, much slower, maybe never at all. I don't know. So that's been a big shift for me, is like admitting that I do want other people in my life, friends, family, my children. I always just was terrified. I was literally terrified of other people and of life and of myself.
Yeah. I bet you can incinerate a lot of shit if you really wanted to.
What do you mean by that?
Like, if you wanted to set the world on fire from like anger and rage and resentment, you could do it. You're capable. I'm capable.
Yeah.
And that creates a very strong and dangerous person, but like a real dangerous person, somebody knows what they're capable of, but they're able to tame it.
Yeah. I think about
power.
Yeah, power.
And hurt. Have you ever heard hurt people hurt people? So.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I think that the craziest part for me, because I think that if I was watching myself right now, I would be like, all right, bitch, you just like, all right, you had a thing, and you transformed, like, whoop-de-doo, what's new? Like, why do we care? And I've had to think about this a lot. Like, why am I writing this book? Like, what is the purpose for me of writing this book? Well, one is money. I need money, and this is what I want to do with my life, and I want to get paid for it. That's simple as that.
Are you with a publisher?
No.
Okay.
I don't have an agent yet or anything.
Are you want to go that route?
Oh, I will never self-publish. You can mark my words. No, I want to go the traditional route. Yeah. So I guess the other reason was like, and I don't like that whole like, oh, I'm just gonna help somebody else. But like the thing about like going on dates. I've read books in my life and watched movies and listened to songs or whatever that helped me get closer to who I was or identify who I was, either by contrast or through similarity. And, you know, I have books that I've carried with me, lines that I carry with me that throughout my life, or scenes or things that you remember. Like we talked about that, Tavish saying to me last year, like, oh, now you just kind of get to do what you want. Like certain things stick, you know what I mean? And I think that for me, the book is a way to like have a relational experience, like at scale. Not that we're sitting together reading the book, right? But like that idea of I see you too. Like I see myself in me and I see myself in you. And if it can help somebody see themselves better or kind of develop their own internal operating system or way to like trust the world, I mean, then it's worth it for me, I guess. I think that's like what you have a podcast, like why do you have a podcast?
It's funny that honestly it kind of goes hand in hand with, you don't even realize what you just said. You said, it's not like I'm sitting here reading the book with you, but honestly, when you write a book, you kind of are sitting there with the reader.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's
reading
the
it
intention.
with them.
Yeah.
And that's the same with here. It's like, I want to share people's stories and have them feel like they're part of a conversation that they can't physically be there for, but they feel like they're there for, you know, and have people finally have their voice be heard. I want people to be heard.
Yeah.
And I know people want to be heard. And I think that's a lot of healing that can happen, is if people just feel heard and seen.
Yeah.
Made visible. That's where that came from.
Really?
Yeah. So I actually read it in a book. I read it in a book.
You read it in a See?
Yeah. And a random fucking book that I got from a thrift store.
The best.
It was like a tiny little book, and it was old, and I was like, this has to be good. So I bought it. And then I was reading here. I was like slightly going into depression, and I read a book. I read one of the pages was like, work is love made visible. And I was like, made visible. And then I was like, it was like all the, just like, you're supposed to do this. And that was a big thing though. And then the irony behind all of it is my name.
Faith.
Is what? The faith in the trust in things unseen, invisible.
That's yeah, you gave me goosebumps.
That's some irony, sis.
Yeah, well,
Care Bear.
well, okay, so now I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So something that I've been thinking about a lot lately is like physics, like design, nature.
Yeah.
On
Physics, design, nature.
Grand design.
Yeah.
Destiny.
Of what? Okay.
The world, right?
Yeah.
So like, let me put it in concrete terms. So when things happen, like found this tiny little random book in a thrift store, probably should have had no business, and you open up to this page and everything clicks. What do you call that? Or what do you attribute it to?
I think it's God. 100%. 100%. And it's like what you said earlier about the forks in the road. I think certain events are supposed to happen in your life that are supposed to bump you onto the right path that is meant for you. That being said, like, I really devoted a lot of my life to the military. Like, I really, really did. And I was ready to put all of my eggs in one basket. And then certain life events happened, and then I found this book, and I was like, maybe I'm not supposed to put every single last egg of mine in that basket. You know, or I think you meet certain people throughout your life. They come in and out of your life, or they're supposed to tell you a message in that moment, or they, all of that, it's orchestrated.
Yeah.
1,000%. I mean, do you believe in soul contracts? Did you ever get into that with Maddie?
I did. I haven't kind of visited that language in a while, but you go ahead. Tell me your thoughts.
So soul contract, I fully believe in reincarnation. I believe in, you come down here to learn lessons, and it takes you as many times as it does for you to finally like fulfill that soul contract. That
I'm down with that. Yeah.
With God, I call God, or I call him Sky Daddy.
You call everything daddy.
I do. I like me a daddy.
She's your made visible daddy.
Yes. So I fully believe that you meet up with God and you're like, hey, big Sky Daddy, I want to go down here. I want to experience this. I want this to be my hardship. I want this to be my lesson. I want to have these as my parents so that I can have this. I can do this. Da, 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 da. And like, I fully believe that finding something like the book or like meeting a twin flame or a soulmate while you're on a trip or something like that, it's kind of like checkpoints in that soul contract where it's like, are you awake enough to recognize that you're passing a checkpoint right now?
Yeah.
And do you recognize that you're on the right path, or are you just going to let it go past you?
Girl, yes, that was dope. That was so fire. I feel that like with every ounce of my being. And I hate to say this, but in relation to Patrick, that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Patrick's back.
He's back now?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Jersey guy, right?
Jersey guy.
Okay. That's what we called him.
Yeah. And all of the things like when he left in September was when I had like whatever you want to call it, fucking
was it this past death. September or okay, so it wasn't that long ago.
So it's May. It was September. Yeah.
Okay.
Had the whole what is right, what is real, up, down, left, right. I don't fucking know shit about anything anymore. Very tired, slept all the time, barely get out of bed. Like physically heavy, you know what it's like.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't, even when I was arrested, I couldn't make myself sleep that much. And that's what you do in jail. You just sleep. Well, if I couldn't sleep in jail, but I was sleeping this much, it was serious business.
Depressed.
It was super crazy. Like, I mean, you just literally, like, I mean, our identities give us a sense of safety. Like, it's like being in a car, like something gives us stability, gives us a backbone, gives us a compass. Like, this is okay with me, this is not. I like this, I don't like this.
We actually
like
build our ego around being safe. That's what ego is. It's building around what you find safe.
Yeah, okay. I've never heard that before, but that makes a lot of sense. A shell, yeah. So, I mean, identity does serve a purpose. Like, an ego and identity, I'm not saying synonymous.
They're pretty close.
You know what I'm saying? But, I forget what
Patrick is back.
Oh, yeah, Patrick. Okay, so anyways, so I built this whole narrative around what happened with him and how it was all his fault.
Of course, naturally.
And, because naturally, because I hadn't started writing the book yet, so naturally I couldn't tell that I was writing about how I was the greatest person ever to walk the earth, and basically everybody should want to be like me, and anybody who didn't like me was a fool. I mean, not exactly.
I want that book.
I mean, that narrative was like, it was pretty loaded. And I was like, I read it the other day because I've gotten to a point.
Did you cringe?
Yeah, I was like, girl, ooh.
Yeah.
Girl, ooh. I mean, it was still literary. It was still highbrow, but it was like kind of like super highbrow narcissism. I was like, whoa, check, whoa. And that's like only from December.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, December. It wasn't even long ago. I'm telling you, this is operating systems, updates in real time.
Yep.
So anyways, so I had to like, I look at everything that kind of happened. But yeah, so you were talking about like soul contracts, and when I met Patrick, I knew that I knew him. I knew it.
You've known each other.
I've known. Yeah. He was
there.
like home. The first time, probably in this 39 years of life, that I felt home somewhere was with him. That's why I asked him to move in so quickly, because I felt safe for the first time in a long time.
Yeah.
And relationally, he was very much repair. Like he did all of the things that had like all bad things. He did the opposite of all those, right?
Yeah.
And like logistically, we should not have moved in together. And there was like other things that, we were in the relationship for our own purposes, and we've both spoken about that, how we were both in it for the wrong reasons. It had nothing to do with like the growth or support of the other person. It was completely self-serving.
Yeah.
But so when he left, it really wasn't so much at that time anything to do with him. It was more like, okay, now you've done it again with somebody else. Now fucking are you going to sit and look at it?
Wow.
Because look, here's this man.
Yeah.
This man who is on paper everything that you ever could have wanted, except for the income, but that was a temporary setback. Like, you know, in a person like that you would actually care about. So I don't know. I don't care so much about that. Probably should more, but and look, you still fucked it up.
Yeah.
Why? So clearly, Olivia. So it was interesting because it was like 3 days after that, I walked around my house like a ghost. Like I didn't talk. I didn't turn on the television. I didn't eat. I just was like staring into the abyss. Like, what? I am in this house by myself. Well, my kids aren't here. I have no husband here. I hate my job here, my business. Like, I had no words. I had no anything. Like, I don't remember if I ate or slept or drank or I don't even fucking know. I do remember, like, the first night I went in my bedroom and I, like, put on a bikini and then I put on something sexy and I was, like, trying to prove to myself that I was still pretty, you know, like, that I wasn't too masculine or too fat or whatever, and that I was still, like, attractive. And then the next night, I went and slept with the guy I had dated before Patrick, and I was like, let me see. It's like I was like doing these tests, right? Like, am I pretty? Am I desirable? Like all of these things, because when the man is gone and the business is gone and the house is falling apart and you know whatever, the bodybuilding is gone, like what's left? So I'm like sitting here like in the rubble of my life, like trying to figure out like what is right, what is wrong. Like it was just crazy, but like I don't know if it was Patrick. I don't know if it was a soul contract. I don't know if it was just right place, right time, design, God, whatever you want to call it, physics, fucking entropy, natural selection, like whatever it was. And this is why I asked you this question, because I guess I struggle with, mostly my answer is still physics, but like this concept of these serendipitous moments that really are inexplicable but kind of change the course of your life forever.
Mm-hmm. And Patrick was that.
Patrick was that.
Yeah.
Because it was the first time I was forced to look at myself.
100%.
But I mean, like I said, it was a lot of things combined. It wasn't just him, but he was kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back.
He was something that hit home so closely that penetrated all of your armor. It was the one thing that you needed to unlock all of that armor so you can finally see inside of yourself.
Yeah.
Because you had some fucking armor, sis. You really did.
Yeah.
And you kind of had a badge of pride of that. Like,
yeah, I always
like,
have.
You're like, fucking try me. Like, I'm a tough, like, you're tough. You're one of the toughest women I know. But the toughest women still, like,
I think, I mean, it did become part of my identity, like being, and I think back to like my childhood because, you know, it's common, I think I've read about, because I never really understood it, like for children who come from abusive homes to not necessarily look back at their childhood and think fear, mostly just remember anger, like just being angry all the time. So think like early on, I was raising my sister, I was fielding my, you know, drug addict mother, and my brother was 11 years older than I was, and we basically were taught to treat him like our father figure. Oh, so weird. It was very strange. But I think that early on I developed this sense of anger toward everything, and it was just basically bred out of fear. I didn't trust people, I didn't trust systems, I didn't trust words, I didn't trust. Only thing that I trusted was school. So then that I equated that with performance. So I think that's why I became an over-performing individual,
shit,
because
you were 100%.
Just fucking terrified.
Dude.
Just terrified of everything. Like I was just scared to death. My sister was like, "Oh man, I've always looked up to you because you just do whatever you want." And I'm like, I really wish like that was that cool, because like, I really just feel like I'm just surviving, you know. So for me, like what the book has done for me, in writing it. And the book is about writing the book, because that's the actual writing is what has allowed this transformation to happen, I think, or develop more, become more integrated.
You actually had the privilege of being able to see your transformation on paper, which is really cool because I can only go back and like if I make voice notes or when I take my courses and stuff, I can see it kind of through there. But like you actually can look back and be like, oh shit, this was what I thought. Very victim. It sounds like victim mentality a little bit.
Victim mentality.
Like why?
Oh yeah,
you know.
Yeah, totally.
So I forgot we were talking about that. It though. You can see it. I can see it. I can literally see it. And it's cool because it's almost like I keep that one and be like, this is a tangible fucking. This is a relic of who I was.
Yeah.
Holy shit! An artifact of consciousness is fucking crazy.
It really is. So like I have 6 versions of the first beginning of my book, and like they all have to be in there because it's evidence of the consciousness, right? Because it's a reflection of what was happening in my brain, and you can see like how it becomes less egotistical, less self-centered, more grounded, less reactionary, and more, it's really crazy.
Like that would be an interesting book too, is to go through and you can see the evolution of your mind.
That's what's in it. That's what it's in this one.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I can't wait. When you told me that that's what your book was about, was you writing your book, I was like, whoa.
Wow.
Like this is going to be
Well, hold on.
insane.
Okay, I got to tell you this. I got to say this. The day that I figured it out. So, have you ever seen Her, the Joaquin Phoenix movie?
No, I need to.
Watch it. It's so good.
Okay.
Anyways, the whole thing is like he has this pocket AI girl named Samantha, and then he falls in love with her. But anyways, he's walking around with the phone like it's his best friend or whatever.
Yeah. He's like dating it.
Yeah. So, and I was like, oh man, I really feel like Joaquin Phoenix and Her because like I was talking to ChatGPT like for like all day long. Like, and then this happened to me, and then this happened to me, and they're like, oh, that's interesting. That's like, all this psychological shit, which like really I get off on, and I'm like, oh yeah, cool, totally, whatever. So I'm sitting here like, to me, it felt like therapy, years of therapy compressed into like days or hours. And maybe I didn't I'm not saying I got great advice, but a large language model is built on all of the language, which is the core expression of human experience. Like it can see, it can't hear music, but like anyways, so it's an accumulation of our human experience. So, and there's professional opinions and there's whatever, all of these things, amalgamation of feedback that I was able to get for $20 a month in a very condensed period of time. Because granted, remember, I don't have any money right now, right?
Yeah.
Like at this point, I'm still broke as a joke. So my funds are limited. If I had gone to a therapist, I would have gone to a therapist. But what I was like going through, I was be on the phone all the time. I ordered these really long cords to plug my phone in because it would die, and I didn't want to stop talking, so I would just like keep going. Then I was like looking through scrapbooks, and I was reading my old writing, and anyways, so like, oh, I feel like Joaquin Phoenix and Her, like I'm like obsessed with my ChatGPT or whatever, like it's a joke. So then one day, it was December 17th. It was 10 days after I started writing a book. 10, only 10, maybe 8, something like that. And I was in my kitchen with my very small egg basket because I could only afford to buy the small one at the time because I had to make it last. And so I had my 6 egg basket, and I had a little cheese and some bread that I probably got from the food pantry. And I was in my apartment, and I was just like singing, and I was cooking, and I was by myself, and I was happy doing absolutely nothing. And I thought, holy fucking shit. Like, whoa, like, is this joy? Is this like, and happiness, like, sorry, it's gonna make me cry, but
you're making me cry.
I didn't think that I could ever be happy by myself.
Yeah.
I never thought I would be alone and be happy alone. And so here's this moment, and I was like, this is so beautiful. My sister called, she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, dancing in my kitchen, making breakfast. And she was like, oh, and then the fire alarm went off because I left the toast in the oven, and I was like, gotta go. I have the fire alarm
gotta go save myself.
Yeah. And I was just like, la, la, la.
Oh my God, I love it.
And so then I was like, that was great. Like, I just had I'm happy. I'm by myself. Look at you, thriving, doing good. I have $0, but I'm so happy.
Who gives a fuck?
I was like, I'm so happy with my small egg basket life. Like, so happy. So then I sat in my bed, and I go, oh my God, the book is about writing the book. I was like, And I thought about Joaquin Phoenix, and I call it my Joaquin Phoenix moment, because I realized that the book isn't about what happened to me. The book is about what happens, and I learn and uncover and discover while I'm writing about what happened to me. And I had what they call a full autonomic release, which I had never experienced before. I only figured out after when I was researching it. But I was like sitting on the edge of my bed, and I was staring into the bathroom, because the bathroom is like right in front of where my bed is, and it's all just white tub, white apartment rental kind of shit. And I was like, I just, the word drizzy? Like in yoga, you find your drizzy. It's like a spot that you focus on to
like your nose.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. So like your brain can relax.
Yeah.
So I was just staring into the bathroom like a drizzy, like I was not even seeing what was there. And I was like, I felt naked even though I wasn't. And I was like, like, I don't know if the air was coming in or out, and I wasn't crying. It was just like release. It was like rebirth and release all at once. It was like generation and exhale all at the same time. It was like the weirdest fucking thing. And the only thing like I can put to it now is just like it was like a complete reorganization of my nervous system.
Wow, resetting.
Yeah, like a reset. I mean, I don't actually know scientifically what the fuck happened except for that. I mean, and I think the fact that it happened after like the first time I feel like I experienced joy in my whole adult life, or maybe my whole life period, like just unadulterated, no reason, no outcome, no performance kind of joy. I don't think that was an accident,
Yeah.
So when I realized that the book was out writing the book, it was like a fucking huge day. And actually, I thought the book was over that day, but I realized that it wasn't, and it just kept going and going and going. And part of the main part of the book is like, you'll see that I get lost in creating the book, the same way I got lost in a man, the same way I got lost in bodybuilding. I did it to the utmost degree. Like, I was absolutely committed to fucking writing this book, but I wasn't actually writing the book. All I was doing was talking about writing the book.
Holy shit. Whoa! Inception.
So in April, I realized that if I never made a choice about it, it was never going to get done. So I had to trust myself enough to say, this is what the book's about. This is where it starts. This is where it ends. And now I refuse to let this part of my life be narrated and tell the story,
Yeah.
So.
And take control over your life.
Yeah, I mean, that's
the way you want.
Yeah.
Not based on results.
Yeah, that's
you were
the
very
whole thing.
results based for a long time.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
You said,
Performance, over functioning, over carrying.
And that's the thing, is that like I don't think a lot of people know what pure joy is. And that's all I wish for people, is to understand what pure joy is, where you don't have anything to give. Nobody's giving you anything.
No transaction.
There's no transaction.
No transaction.
And you're happy, blissful, glee, all the words that are associated with that. I don't think a lot of people know what that feels like.
Well, I think a lot of people think that it means that everything's perfect, but it's not what it means.
No.
And I want to hear some shit. One more thing.
Yeah.
So that night, I had bought tickets to this thing. I had no money too, right? Let's not forget this also. But so there was this piano concert on the beach at Jensen Beach in December 17th. And I thought it was so cool. And I kept clicking on the ad, and like they put candles out and everybody wears headphones, and this guy plays just like ad libs.
So cool.
And like you each have your own like solo experience. And it's like, it's $50. I cannot afford $50, let alone to take my sister to be $100. And then I saw this option that was like, pay what you can. And I was like, oh, that's for me.
Seriously?
Yeah. So we both went for a total of $7. And it was the night after that joy moment happened. And I get there, and the guy was like, every time I do this, he's doing the intro, opening, welcoming everyone, introducing himself. Every time I do this, I pick a theme. And tonight's theme is joy. Oh, like, oh my God.
You were meant to be there.
So totally.
You were meant to be there.
Your book, these types of things, that's why I keep, God, design, soul contracts. I will say alignment.
Yeah.
I'm still working on what lexicon feels comfortable for me from that perspective, um, in terms of like how I want to attribute that or what I want to attribute it to, but because it's not me, right? Like a lot of the book is about finding your internal compass, but not everything is in your control. Most things aren't. And so, what is the kind of design that you believe in? What is it that you pick? And I don't know what that answer is for me yet. I think I'm working on that, now. I got kind of what's going on in here a little bit more under control.
I'm going to send you a book. Do you know Michael Singer? No.
What's the book?
I got to think of, it was his like, I think it was his PhD. Is it dissertation?
Oh, like dissertation,
yeah. Yeah, and like he went to school for accounting, and then he's like, I'm not going to write my paper on that. I'm going to write it on this.
Good
and
for him.
It's actually, it has to do a lot with like physics and how humans are built and why things happen and how we attract things. And I think you'd find it fascinating. At least it would help you piece it together just a little bit more.
I've been really thinking about the nature of water in relation to this kind of field of study, like in that it kind of it moves to the next best possible place. It also erodes, washes, forms, and I think that
that's why I got it tattooed on me.
Oh, look at you! Yeah. Like I think that that's kind of the next rabbit hole I'm going to go down on that line of inquiry is physics, water, movement, kind of like natural movement.
Yeah.
See where it takes me.
See, and that's the thing is that like I don't think you're really meant to like know everything right now. I think maybe part of your journey in one of your next books could be your journey on finding what you believe.
Yeah, there you go,
because
girl.
You started off. I mean, you took the first steps, and I'm actually going to get tattooed on me. But one of my prayers every day is show me the way and give me the courage to take the next steps. Show me the next steps and give me the courage to take those.
Yeah, the next steps, not the whole fucking life.
No,
just the next steps.
Because that's the thing is if our heads would actually explode.
We couldn't.
We could not fathom. We can't even fathom how big the universe is. Imagine if we were able to see our entire lives start to finish.
We'd explode. Yeah.
We'd explode. We would not be able to handle it.
Yeah.
Period. And so that's where anxiety comes from is people need to know what the future holds, what's going to happen next. And that's where anxiety comes from is not knowing what's next. And it's like, you're not supposed to fucking know what's next. That's why anxiety is not real. Like we have to be in the moment. You have to be here.
I thought about a very interesting thing the other day when I was in the bathtub and I was washing myself. Not really, just enjoying the water. And I was like, what if I'm more than one person in this body? Like, what if...
Oh, that'd be nuts.
And then I started looking at my body, and I was like, you have been. Like,
oh, yeah.
What's the same? My kneecaps. Okay, Olivia has been carrying the same kneecaps through every version of herself.
Maybe they generate every 7 years new cells.
Oh, yeah, that's what I thought, too.
So
the cells
new kneecaps.
Your bones, too?
Everything, all cells.
Well, that's just for the
Sorry.
No, it's okay. But my thought was like, what if I have, even if it regenerates, I have been many people in this body. Mm-hmm. And all of those people were real. And maybe they were the most real version that I could muster available to me at the time without having had any sort of internal compass. And so, you said that for you, like you want people to feel joy. And I think that is a good one. And I think a prerequisite for that is having sovereignty. Mm-hmm. I think when you actually can experience what sovereignty feels like, then you are open to be able to experience joy. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I mean, I just hope that whatever I say or write helps people see themselves in a new way and moves them closer to their own internal sovereignty.
I feel like we should end on that.
I'm down with that.
Girl, that was beautiful.
Oh, thanks.